Well, good morning, baseball fans, and welcome to the Breckinridge County High School Athletic Complex for a festive third region baseball tournament. We're going to have all 4 games today live here on Breck Live. Our first game featuring the Apollo Eagles against the Grayson County Cougars. And like I said, this is a festive time, end of the school year, and so we're just got the whole calendar clear today. And I'm joined today by John Kennedy here in the press row.
Absolutely. This is a first for us, first for a lot of things here. First time Breckinridge County has hosted the third region baseball tournament. First time we've had the complex to do such a thing. And we ended up, after a rough night of storms, ended up with a beautiful morning here. And we're going to have 4 great games of baseball here that we're proud to bring you on YouTube through Breck Live.
Yeah, and that's our first regional host for our Breck Live in our young existence, 5 years now. And having that ability here with this great facility, we'll be able to accommodate all the teams and the folks at home watching. I was about to dovetail into now if we can just host a basketball event, but let's just leave that in the past.
Yeah, we'll leave
focus
that
on the baseball today.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those things that Breckinridge County as a whole has been pushing towards with the facility upgrade that we had back in 2021. This beautiful softball and baseball complex, along with the tennis complex that's out here, has allowed us to be able to bring this type of entertainment and environment out to Breckinridge County and hopefully show off. Harlan, Kentucky is a place that you can come and see some good sports action, and we'll work our way towards the other stuff as we get a little further down the line.
Sure. Lineups being read out now for this game, which features sort of, I don't want to say a surprise district runner-up, but Apollo finishing top of the region in RPI and standings, but coming up second in their district, losing to Owensboro Catholic, who will feature later this afternoon against the district champions in the 12th, Grayson County. So even if you're not following a lot of the district play and you're just looking at the standings, you may think, I wonder why Apollo's visitors, but that's why.
Well, and this is kind of one of those deja vu all over again type deal. This is a repeat from last year where Grayson County came out of the 12th district as the champions, and Apollo came out of the 9th as the runner-up. They ended up last year having to throw their ace against Owensboro Catholic, won a game 1-0, and then they were knocked off by a really good Owensboro Red Devil team. But in the long run, as a lot of people will tell you, it doesn't matter if you win your district. It's all about getting that ticket to the third region tournament. You win 3 games in however many days it takes, and Apollo showed that last year as they were able to run through 3 games there at Basswood Park in Hancock County and rode it all the way to the Final Four, where they dropped a close 2-1 contest against, I believe, Shelby County to end their season last year, and they return a lot of firepower from that team. Again, they lost a close game against Owensboro Catholic earlier this week in a game that got pushed back about 2 or 3 days because of rain. You saw both teams kind of have to throw multiple pitchers. They had different strategies saving up for this regional tournament. But Grayson County, they are not going to be necessarily overwhelmed by Apollo. They've been in this situation before. They have a lot of returning depth. They know that they can put a game together like they did last year. We'll see if they can do it again tonight.
Yeah,
or this morning. Excuse me.
No, that's all. I'm going to do that myself many times. The 10 a.m. start, of course. This will be sort of an anomaly because we think about this ballpark and you think about how the sun is going to impact the game. We've never had there's been some Saturday games, but certainly not with these stakes.
Exactly, yeah. The Tigers have hosted a few of these 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 2 o'clock games where 2 or 3 teams will come in and play, but yeah, the outcome of these games are a little bit more important than a Saturday in March.
Ooh, Saturday in March, yeah. That reminds me of some cold weather.
Exactly.
Great weather, though, like you said. No threat of rain on the forecast. Should be able to get all these in. Hearing sort of the word around the press row that other areas have had to push back tournament dates, but that is not going to be here. And looks like we might be about to have a national anthem. And we're going to mute to avoid a copy strike. We'll be right back. Sorry about that mute. We've had some issues in the past with using pre-recorded national anthems that, you know how to work. The tech will pick up a certain rendition and say, hey, that belongs to somebody else. But I thought the song belonged to the country.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I kind of thought the song came with the press box whenever they built it. So never know which rendition you're going to hear, if it's going to be Dolly or if it's going to be a different one. But we are about ready to get things going. I feel like I kind of shortchanged Grayson County a little bit there in that preview. I gave a whole lot of info about Apollo, and rightfully so. Apollo comes in as probably one of the heavy favorites here, but Grayson County playing better ball at the end of the season. They come in with a 16-14 record. They are the 12th district champions after losing a couple of regular season contests to Edmonson County. They were able to knock off the Wildcats in that championship game by a final score of 9-6, and they will be throwing right-hander Gage Napier as he is out getting his warm-up tosses right now. The sophomore comes in with a 3.39 ERA and 52 strikeouts to 20 walks. So he's around the plate a whole lot, and a lot of times these games boil down to two things. They boil down to pitching and they boil down to defense. And for Grayson County to be able to stay in this game, they need some good pitching out of Napier, and they need really good defense behind him.
Yeah, and with that great pitching, got to have good help with, you say, the good defense. And we've seen games this season from Breckinridge County. I mean, that's going to be the sample we've seen the most. Sometimes the routine play goes awry, and you wind in some trouble. Now, let me ask you this. A game like this, do you think these players have it in their mind? Like, are they going to get in their heads with the pressure? Maybe a routine play is not so easy.
It's hard to tell because especially with Apollo, they have the pedigree. They have the postseason play in their back pocket that they can rely on. Grayson County not as much, but they showed again last year. They jumped out to an early lead on Apollo, made Apollo go to their ace to come back and eventually take that win. One mistake can be a big issue, but you hope it's not, as that first pitch comes in for a ball, and 10:05, we're underway.
We're here. That's Grayson Smith digging in, 376 on the season with 4 extra base hits, and you know he's going to be. You got to get that first player on base to get it started, and he's been that man for Apollo this season.
That ball looped over to the left side into shallow left field. It's going to get over the head of Bonnock, the shortstop, and a leadoff single for Grayson Smith.
And from Napier's standpoint on the mound, that's It's not ideal giving up a hit in the first batter to the first batter.
It's one of those things where you'd almost rather it be solid contact and you'd be like, okay, I made a mistake pitch, but he made a really good pitch there. It was just one of those things where the ball found a hole as he throws over to check on Smith. Apollo not as much of a threat on the base paths. They're stealing about a bag and a half per game, but they've also played one of the more difficult schedules, not just in the region but also in the state, as that ball's bunted down the third base line. Up with it, the throw is not going to be in time. The runner tripped at second base, and the second base umpire is pointing at the runner right now.
Oh, we've got a potential flashpoint here early. What's going on here?
It looked like Smith and Bratcher got their feet tangled there. I'm not sure if Smith was in the role of the umpires. They're saying that Smith was trying to advance to third. So with that interference, that's going to put runners on the corner and nobody out.
My goodness. And Milburn, who just laid down that bunt, rapidly gets down the first base line. You mentioned their base running. He leads the team far and away with 17 steals. I would guess, if I'm going to make an early prediction, he's about to find second base in as soon as this next pitch is thrown.
Head coach Jody Nutt for Grayson County out to talk to the home plate and third base umpires, trying to get clarification on that call. The second base umpire made the he made the obstruction call pretty quickly. And now the two umpires are going to bring the other two umpires in because I think when all four of them get together, they actually get a little bit of bump in pay. I'm not sure how that works, but you'll see that probably more than once today.
I think we'll keep a count. Since we'll be here all day, we'll put our stats department on the count of a 4-umpire conversation. Nothing changed.
The first base, I'm assuming first base umpire Tony Beard, he is going to be the crew chief here, as he is the one that he made the call over there. And just as a mention of the umpires, you do get a lot of criticism throughout the year, but for these tournament games, these umpires are kind of voted on by their peers. So these are the best performing umpires that we had throughout the season. So a great crew out here, and they get together and make the right call as runners at the corner and nobody out. And the first pitch to Sam Holder is in the dirt for ball one.
Milburn not going, making me look foolish. But that's okay. I don't hold it against him. But, yeah, the umpires, we're going to have a good call all day with them.
Napier's pitch hit to the right side, and that's going to plate the first run. Milburn on to third base, and the fake throw almost got Holder caught off guard there, but nobody covered first base. And so 3 consecutive singles to lead things off. And this, if you're Apollo, this is exactly what you want. You want to try to put this game away as quickly as possible. And on the flip side, if you're Grayson County, this is exactly what you don't want to see.
And that was a hit-and-run call because Milburn was going, swinging on that. Easily gets to third base. Right where we were in the last at-bat, except now the scoreboard's unbalanced.
Runner was going on that one, not a hit and run per se, but Lanford saw one that he thought he could do some damage on and fouls it off behind home plate. Holder will go back to first base. Holder at first, Milburn at third. Nobody out here in the top of the first. Eagles already with one across.
Those throwbacks over to first base they probably feel a little different on the turf. They certainly won't get as dirty.
No. All infield is that synthetic grass. As he's off again, pitch misses high, and catcher Haycraft will not make a throw as Holder moves into scoring position. 1-1 count as Napier trying to get some. Tried the inside corner, didn't quite get that one, and now a 2-1 count.
It's still not panic stations for the Cougars, but alarm bells ringing early in this game.
That ball lifted high and deep into left field, but that's going to roll foul and even the count at 2-2. Little fun fact.
Fun fact.
Yes, I was thinking about this while I was tossing and turning last night. First game in this field's history, Apollo against Breckinridge County. Apollo came out on top of that one as that ball hit sharply at shortstop, fielded, and the throw is a little wide, but a good play there by Landon Sharella to come off the bag and apply the tag to Blandford to get the out. A run does score, and now 2-0.
Number 17, Will Strode.
Yeah, you were saying about the first game.
Yes, Apollo came out. I want to say the final score on that one was 4-1. Brett County had a 1-0 lead going into the last inning, and then Apollo hit the first home run at Fighting Tiger Field. They hit it in the top of the 7th inning to tie the ball game. And then in the 8th inning, Apollo came away with, I think, 3 runs to make it a 4-1 game. So Apollo's played here quite a few times since it's been open, as that pitch, a slider that Will Strode is able to lay off there.
I think I remember that game. Now that you bring that up, that was back in the memory archive, but remember it well.
Napier goes up in the zone, and Strode swings through it, a 1-2 count to the senior designated hitter, Will Strode. Strode out for the beginning parts of the season, now working his way back in, and a big power threat as he takes that one in the turf, 2-2.
Yeah, one of just 3 Eagles that have cleared the fence this season with 1 home run. Let's see if you might have set him up for a 2-run shot here.
Oh, swing and a miss, and that will be the second out of the inning. Napier with a big strikeout. If they can limit this to 2 runs, as far as Grayson County is concerned, you'll have to take that, because with giving up 3 hits to start the inning, it looked like it was going to get bad quick. Ty Lilpop, and they throw back to second. They got him picked off.
Probably the best way to get out of that inning. You were just talking about that early jam that the Cougars found themselves in, but they're going to feel good going into the dugout after that.
Absolutely. Holder went to get his secondary lead, and Ballnock, the shortstop, snuck in behind him. Napier fired a missile right back there, and right on target. They lay the tag on Holder, and that ends this top half of the first. 2 runs on 3 hits for Apollo. Grayson County will come to bat here in the bottom half of the inning, and Grayson County will try to get back in this game. You don't want to stay down too long if you're the Cougars and you're in that challenger role as the underdog.
Definitely. And with the momentum from the pickoff, it's out there, with the, looks like out there on the mound for the Eagles is number 20, Garrett Lanham. He's had a heck of a season, but not a whole lot of volume of pitching compared to some of his teammates. He's only thrown in 18.1 innings. Good ERA, 1.91. He got 15 strikeouts to 6 walks. If he only allows what he's allowing, this game will be over. But it doesn't work that way.
Not quite. Yeah, if we played it just by the stats, then a lot of these games would be they'd be wrapped up real quickly. But Lanham, I'm trying to see. He didn't pitch any in the 3rd region tournament last year. He did hit. So as and I believe he's a freshman, or excuse me, a junior. My bad. I was looking at the wrong name there. But as a junior, didn't throw any innings in the 3rd region tournament last year. I'm trying to see the last time that he was on the mound for Apollo, as they've updated their.
The archive that is the KHSAA stats.
Leading off for the Cougars, the catcher, number 5.
Which this has nothing to do with today, but moving over to a new system next year.
That's what I hear. It's a scary all. As much as it can be frustrating, the KHSA system, as that ball is dribbled towards short, up with it is Smith, and the throw across is going to be in time to retire Landon Haycraft for the first out of the inning. A slow chopper there that Grayson Smith decided to play back on, but he showed off the arm there as he throws a bullet over to Blandford. to retire Landon Haycraft for the first out of the inning, and now Jaron Van Meter, the center fielder, comes up. Yeah, the last time that Lanham pitched was actually the last regular season game they played against Breckinridge County. Started through the first, or excuse me, didn't start, through 3 innings in relief, allowed 3 hits, struck out 3 in those innings. So a little bit of a time off for him, but able to get the first out on 1 pitch, but gets a generous call there on the inside corner to get the count to 2-1.
And especially for a team like Apollo, you got to think they're expecting to make a deep run in this tournament. So they're not going to go to maybe their top pitchers here in the first game, unless, like you say, last year, unless they have to.
Yeah, and just looking innings-wise, as the 2-2 pitch is just a little bit high. I think that may have been a little repay for that inside strike, but now a full count to Van Meter, and he takes it for a ball. Lanham has thrown the fourth most innings of any Eagle this season. Noah Cook, who is far and away their ace, probably I don't think I'd be stepping too far out of bounds to say that he's probably the top pitcher in the 3rd region. He's thrown 61 1/3 innings. Carter Kimmel has thrown 44 1/3, and Grayson Smith has thrown 30 1/3. So those 3 have eaten the bulk of the innings, as that breaking ball is a strike. And if you can get a guy like Lanham to give you 4 or 5 innings here, your offense can spot you a few runs. You don't have to go to those guys as much. You got them for possibly a matchup against Muhlenberg County or Meade County in the next round, and then saving them up ideally for Apollo to be able to take those top 2 guys maybe to the championship game.
Yeah, either one would be great because they both have an ERA under 1.
Which at this point of the season, that in and of itself is amazing, as that ball misses low in the dirt. Off was Van Meter, and he steals second base. It goes into center field, but Jagger Pate is able to get the ball back in quickly and keeps Van Meter to the second base. So moving on the 0-2 pitch, the pitch wasn't the best and didn't give Cheney a good pitch to throw on, and Van Meter finds himself in scoring position now as Landon Sharella, who made a good defensive play there in the top half of the inning, now trying to produce on the offensive side.
You got to think a hit to the outfield here might score Van Meter.
I would think that they would push it here as that ball is lifted to the left side. Third base drifts back on that one. Milburn puts it away, and that's 2 away.
The casual catch down by the shoulder.
That was one of those that initially he broke back thinking, oh, that's going to be one of those that's kind of in that Bermuda Triangle of left field, shortstop, and third base. And he was like, oh, that didn't go very far. So he's able to put that little can of corn in his back pocket for the second out. And 2 away, and now Levi Rogers, the top hitter for Grayson County, steps in. And he takes that breaking ball high for ball 1. It's got some good movement on it, does Lanham's breaking ball, but that one was at the top of the zone for ball 1.
And Rogers, like you say, leading the team in extra base hits. Only 7 strikeouts on the season.
Lefty, as they kick back to second, and that throw goes into center field, and again, a good job by Pate, the center fielder, to back that play up. Apollo trying to give Grayson County a little bit of their own medicine there. And
yeah, deja vu.
A good throw there might have got him, but no harm, no foul to Apollo as the runner still stays at second with 2 outs.
And you talk about Pate, it'd be easy to be asleep. Maybe not easy, but it's a testament to his focus that he's been there twice.
That ball way inside and a 2-0 count.
Yes, maybe I'd be asleep out
well,
there.
It's one of those
early
things.
Game.
Yeah, you've played games all season for the most part that, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6:30. Wake up. Apollo has to travel an hour to get here. As that ball swung on and popped up on the infield, or a little bit deeper, actually goes out in the center field. As Pate squeezes that one for the 3rd out. The way the second baseman was acting as that ball was hit, I thought it was going to stay on the infield, but Pate puts it away, and that is the third out of the inning, and Apollo takes a 2-0 lead into the second inning.
And Grayson County unable to make an immediate sort of adventure into that deficit, cut that deficit after that positive end to their defensive top first. Now it's all about limiting the margin. Can't be giving up 2 every half inning. That would be a quick game. And
a lot of times you would think, hey, I get to the bottom of the order, it's going to be a little bit easier to navigate down through here. Apollo doesn't give you a whole lot of easy outs. They don't give you a whole lot of, I can get this guy out with a fastball. I don't have to worry about my location as much. Apollo is tough top to bottom, and as they've proven all season and last season as well. So even if you're Napier seeing the 6, 7, and 8 hitter here, you've still got to be on your game. You still got to hit your spots, and defensively, got to be ready for a ball to come to you.
And that's going to be the test for Grayson County. That when they had chances to make the plays, they looked solid defensively. But it was just the good hitting is going to take out the defense.
Yeah, the rocket that Easton Blanford hit right at the shortstop, Bonnock made a tremendous play, actually double, maybe triple pumped because I think he had ideas of maybe coming home with it, but then kind of looked the runner back at second and was maybe that's why the throw was a little wild, but Shirella made a good play to make the tag to get that out. But, yeah, defensively, as a pitcher, you want to try to as that ball runs inside.
You were saying about as a pitcher?
Yeah. As a pitcher, that happens. Yeah, that happens as well. That hit by a pitch. You've got to try to throw it to the spot that you want to throw it to, and hit by pitches happen. So as a hitter, you take your base. As a pitcher, you wipe that one clean, and now you go from the windup to the stretch and try to get yourself a ground ball here to maybe erase 2 with 1 pitch.
That would be the ideal scenario for those wearing the orange caps.
Cheney takes a first pitch for a call strike. The Apollo catcher, one of the 4 seniors that I have in the starting lineup for Apollo today, as that ball is fouled off to the side and quickly down 0-2.
Yeah, that's in the danger area if you parked on the fence. And we have signs out there that say this is it's a foul ball zone. Don't park here.
I've seen plenty that have chanced that throughout the years as that one up in the zone, and Cheney wanted to go after it, but he was able to stop himself and take ball 1.
Yeah, his body language after that pitch.
It just looks so good coming in right about eye level. Looks like a watermelon, but it's nothing you can hit as that ball is cued off to the first base coach. A little bobble, but he fields it cleanly.
Stayed with it.
Yep. Got to keep your eye on it.
Yeah, and the turf infield is going to be a very consistent bounce, I would imagine.
It is, as opposed to what I was used to for years out at the ballpark in Hardinsburg. If no 2 ground balls were ever the same, so here you've got that consistency, which a lot of schools around this region are starting to go to that. As I believe by the end. Ooh, that one misses just off the outside corner.
Yeah, it's our first taste of spectator dissent.
Yeah, the Grayson County folks to our left, they wanted that one. And the 3-2 pitch is fouled off, and Cheney seeing quite a few pitches here in this at bat. Yeah, a lot of the schools around this region are starting to go to this type of infield. I think all the Davis County schools by the end of next season, or maybe by the beginning of next season, will have this type of surface as that ball misses, and now 2 on with nobody out.
And Cheney worked a good at bat there. Got in a hole very early, fouled off a few, and then gets to the base. He had a runner coming in that looks like Whelan Skinner.
Yes.
Out there, going to take his spot. And bunt down.
Napier going to field it himself. The throw low.
Oh.
The tag not in time. Bratcher trying to cover second base, and he was not, or excuse me, trying to cover first base, wasn't able to get over there in time. Tried to lay a tag on the runner, but
yeah, the base is always out. You know, touch that bag. That was Brock Berger, and Berger, as he was kind of running down the line, it wasn't like he gave up, but certainly expected to be thrown out.
Yeah, he was definitely sacrificing himself. That is not going to be a hit. That's actually a sacrifice and an error on that play. And the bases are loaded for the opposing pitcher, Garrett Lanham. Lanham takes the first one for a strike, takes the second one for a questionable strike. And now quickly behind 0-2 is Garrett Lanham. 265, 5 RBIs on the season. And he takes that one out of the zone as Napier has given up a hit by pitch, a walk, and then an error to load the bases here and is in desperate need of an out, especially with the top of the order looming.
Uh-oh.
That one sails over Lanham's head and to the backstop, and Ty Lilpop is going to score the third run of the game as all the runners move up 90 feet.
Yeah, and that was, you know, for Lanham, I'm glad he ducked that one because that could have been painful. But any pass ball here is probably going to score the run. There's not going to be much of a kickback, and the foul territory is so large. If there's a runner on third, they're going to come across on a pass ball.
2-2 pitch outside corner just misses, and the count runs full. So second batter of this inning that Napier has gotten ahead 0-2 and then has gone full to them.
A walk here would be just demoralizing.
And that's exactly what happens as the ball almost runs in and hits Lanham.
Grayson County is going to need to sort out this situation on cue. We're going to get a mound visit.
And there's not a whole lot you can tell him at this point. He's about to go back to the top of the order. Grayson Smith, a 376 batter, has already singled once in this game. And, I mean, ideally you can get you need to get an out. It doesn't matter at this point. You want to limit Apollo's scoring, but at this point, get an out, kind of concede that run, and hopefully that positive momentum will limit the Apollo attack here in the inning. But Grayson Smith has already shown and has shown all season that he has the ability to make this deficit a little bit bigger for Grayson County if he can get a hold of one.
Right, and the worrying thing, the top three in the order for the Eagles, they all hit. They all got on base via the hit last inning, which was just the previous inning. This has been a long woo.
Right down the third base line, and that is going to score 2. They are waving the other runner into third base. He slides in, and Grayson Smith, first pitch double, knocks home 2 for Apollo, and it is now a 5-0 game.
And that mound visit, you think it had to end with something like, settle down, let's get through this at-bat, and that's first pitch right down the line. Ooh, man, that was this could get worse before it gets better for the Cougars, and it may not get better.
Ross Milburn now up, and a first pitch taken just high for ball 1. Milburn singled on a bunt his first time up. Third base playing in, and that ball fouled straight back here. Didn't have that net. I definitely would have caught it.
Oh, no doubt. I saw your you were calm, no flinching, just immediate action, ready for it.
Well, if the net fails, that means I'm going home for the day, as that ball fouled off. It's one of those things that if it doesn't do its job, then I can't do mine. So
it is an impressive net. As nets go, it's one of the best I've seen.
Hopefully it keeps up the job. 1-2 pitch, misses outside. Just that put-away pitch that Napier is having some issues with, not able to get He's able to get the Apollo hitters there to the brink, but cannot retire them, or at least can't so far this inning, as that ball is popped up high. A lot of foul territory as third base and catcher are going after it, and a tremendous try there by Haycraft, but he is unable to come up with it.
Yeah, that is a difficult play to make, especially because every ballpark's going to be different. So you have to first read, can I get it? But even that answer is different depending on where you are. And once you think you can go for it, he almost had it, got the glove on it.
He did. It's one of those plays that you want your infielder to be able to make, and that was a long run. There was no way that that Rogers was going to be able to get there. But Haycraft made a tremendous effort to try to go after that one, as that one's fouled off again. And a 2-2 count stays to the third baseman, Ross Milburn.
I may have knocked over somebody's soft serve ice cream,
yes,
which is on the menu today.
Saw the athletic director walking around with one of those, as that pitch is on the outside corner for a call, strike 3, and a big first out of the inning on the strikeout.
Batting the left fielder, number 1, Sam Holder.
Sam Holder, the final of the 3 consecutive hits there in the first inning. He will step to the plate. He was retired on a pickoff play to end the first inning. He'd like to atone for that with his bat here, as that one misses up around the letters for ball 1. Again, Apollo, statistically, if you look at what they brought into this game, as that ball is fouled off to the right. If you look at it, it doesn't jump off the page at you. It is not. They came in averaging 5 runs a game. They struck out about 6 times per game as a team. They walked about 4 times. But when you pair that with the records and the teams that they played, the winning percentage of the teams that they played was almost 600.
Yeah.
I mean, they are consistently going out there and playing the top competition, not just in this area. They're playing lots of teams from Lexington, Louisville. When they played out-of-state games, those games don't count as much as on the RPI rankings, which is kind of a flaw in that system, as flaws go in that system.
Yeah.
But they have played a tremendously difficult schedule, and offensively they are much better than the numbers that are on the page, as that ball is fouled straight back into the net.
Oh. There was a fan with his fingers in the net right there with a cell phone. He is now taking his hand off the net.
Everybody just kind of stared at him. One of those
yes.
social shamings, I believe.
Oh, he's back. Some people never learn. But sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
You were talking about the schedule being difficult for Apollo, and that can be misleading, especially when you think about how you were talking about the flaws with RPI and how that works. But they are. There's no misleading thing about this team. We've seen they look solid here.
2-2 pitch swung on and lifted into center field, drifting back on it and caught by Van Meter. The runners will move up, and a sacrifice fly off the bat of Holder. Going to make it a 6-0 game.
And we were just in the top of the second. We started at 10:05. I think I remember you saying 10:05 first pitch. Right. And so we're just about 30 minutes in, and it's looking good if you're an Apollo fan, but it's not over, and it's never over until it's over.
Yeah, like we said last year with Grayson County, they jumped out to an early lead, and Apollo had to come back, and they had to use some of those magic pitching bullets that you don't necessarily want to use in the first round, and eventually got the job done. That's the funny thing about baseball. It's not like football, where if you are just so much better than the other team, there's really no chance for the other team. In basketball, a lot of that it maintains the same. There's a little bit of parity there, but when it comes to baseball, one pitcher can change the entire game. Mm-hmm. One error can change the entire game. So if you're Grayson County, you got an 0-2 count here against Blandford. If you can get out of this inning, go back in, maybe chip away, try to make this a ball game. You don't have to score 6 all at once, but you do have to keep Apollo from scoring.
Yeah, and the difference, another difference with those sports, there's no clock in baseball. You can't run out the clock. you got the same chance that the other team does. So it's there's a lot you can look to.
That ball rolled to third. Up with it is Rogers. The throw all the way across is fielded by Shrella, and that is the third out of the inning. But Apollo able to put 4 runs on the board, only with 1 hit in that inning and 1 Grayson County error. The Eagles do leave 1 runner on base, and we have completed 1.5 innings of play. Apollo 6, Grayson County 0.
Now thinking about it from the Cougar standpoint, let's do our. We can't hear what they're saying, but they're gathered. They got the whole team out. What could be said right there? What do you think was going on in that team huddle?
Well, a couple of different things I think you could probably hear, but a lot of them are your cliches, I believe. You're going up, you're taking it 1 pitch at a time. You are looking for your pitch. Don't necessarily hit what Lanham is throwing. Make him put one in your zone and try to drive it somewhere. If you're not getting your pitch, if it's out of the zone, take it. Walks are just as good as hits at this point. So get on base. In fact, if the ball's a little close, turn into it. You know, at this point, get on base any way you can. If you're Grayson County, you can't be too adventurous on the base paths as far as trying to push the running game. You are 6 runs down, so you don't want to run into an out there. But as a coach, I'm telling them, wipe out everything that just happened, get on base, and hopefully we can find some holes out there in the defense and score a couple, try to scratch a couple across here. And the first pitch misses high as Cam Fulkerson, Gage Napier, and Chase Bonnock are the scheduled hitters for Grayson County here in the bottom of the second as they trail 6-0.
Good contact, but pretty routine over there at the hot corner, in the hot corner.
That's one of those where he got the pitch they wanted. He put good contact on it, but defensively, you try to hit it where they aren't, and that's where he ours. I don't know where he is. I don't know. I'm not an English guy. That ball is a called strike.
I thought you were going to go with hit it where they ain't.
Well,
that's what I was expecting.
See, I corrected that particular grammar.
And then you went with ours.
Yeah, well.
Hey.
Got to mess them up somewhere.
I'll say what I always say in situations like this. This isn't a classroom. Be free.
Napier takes 2 straight strikes and then fouls that one off the catcher, Cheney. And Grayson County starting to get some pitchers up in the bullpen out in the left field corner as a couple of them running down there.
This might test the tent here.
That one just off to the right of our tent as we're joined down here on media row. What do you
Press
want to call
row?
this? Press row, media
tent
row.
row.
Tent, yes. Good folks from Grayson County and from Owensboro down here with us, broadcasting their games down here with us. So we are glad that you are following along with us here on Breck Live.
Yeah, it's an event.
It is, yes.
This is the place to be.
A lot of blue over here to our right. And down the third base line, see a lot of lawn chairs adorned in that orange Grayson County color as swing and miss there by Napier. Out number 2.
And Apollo is working through the innings quickly or I should say, just Lanham working through the innings quickly. It's a huge contrast to what we see when the script is flipped. And that's only going to bode well, although there's first hit of the game for Bonnock.
He's able to flare that one out into right field. And a 2-out single.
2-out hits, you know what they say about those.
They'll get you every time.
Now, how early would be too early for the inside-out cap?
I think a rally cap is more of, well, it depends. If you're getting close to a run roll, definitely the 3rd, 4th inning.
You better turn it inside. You better get on it.
If it's closer, maybe a 6th or 7th inning type deal. But really at this point, it's better to be superstitious than just a little stitious.
Little stitious, yeah.
Throw over as a double tag applied there. I'm not sure if Bonnock's hand came off after the first tag, but he's safe both times. Jake Bratcher, second baseman for Grayson County, stands at the plate. And he swings and pops that one to the right side. First baseman Blandford waves everyone off and squeezes it for the third out, and side is retired.
Good communication. And I guess this is our, with that double tag that you just mentioned, I guess Bonnock could say, or I don't know who would be the speaker in this, because they fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, strike three.
Oh. It's going to be a day today, isn't it?
It's going to be a day. Always nice to find some common ground for a good reference, a good allusion. And we do have, if you heard John there talking about it's going to be a day, we do have, if you're a big fan of baseball, 3 more games following this one coming up here on Breck Live. They'll all be in their own separate videos. So if you're watching this stream and you want to watch the next game, there'll be a separate link for that. But it'll still be on the channel, the Breck Live channel. And if you're watching, here comes a shameless plea. If you're enjoying the content, and you're familiar with YouTube, you already know what I'm going to say. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe to Breck Live? We would appreciate it. As we were earlier this school year with the class, I can't remember which class, but we wanted to get 2,024 subscribers by the end of the year for the class of 2024. We didn't get there. We got like 1,800, but we love y'all, so subscribe.
I see we're currently 1.9.
So, we've picked up. Thank you.
So we are getting a little bit higher up there, and for Breck Live, it is mostly Breckinridge County. Obviously, the name entails, but you'll see a lot of local action, third region action, not just baseball, softball. You'll see basketball throughout the season. You'll see football, soccer, some volleyball action throughout the season. So like and subscribe, and you'll see some of your local content there as that throw goes wide. And Easton Blandford is able to reach on the throwing error by the third baseman, Rogers.
And Rogers had done such a great job of fielding that ball, because I thought it was going to get by him. But he did the hard part, and then the throw, just an errant throw.
I take that back. That was actually Will Strode. My bad. Easton Blandford was the last out of the second inning. So
all good.
So Strode is now at first base, and it looks like we are going to have a pitching change as Grayson County is going to remove Gage Napier from the mound.
Yeah, I guess the signs were there that this inning's going to go dangerously similarly. I think it's dangerously similar.
It's going to be a
It's
lot like the others.
It's going to be a lot like the last one.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot like the other ones. So it was a sharp hit ball there at third. Rogers did make a good job, did a good job of fielding it, but just unable to make a crisp throw over. And the new pitcher will be left-hander Jaron Van Meter.
Yeah, if you're going from Napier, who has thrown the most innings, Van Meter's got a decent sample. It's a little over 29 innings pitched on the mound. He does not have as favorable of a strikeout to walk ratio as it's be. I don't want to start talking math to a math guy, but 39 to 34 is pretty close to 1-to-1.
Yeah, not exactly the ratio that you'd like to see. Napier came in almost 3-to-1 strikeout to walk, so a whole lot more strikeouts, not as many walks. Here we're seeing, at least statistically coming in, Van Meter's about even on those. Don't want to see the walks, obviously, but You also don't want to see him lay one right down the middle of the plate with some of these hitters down in the lineup for Apollo, because anything down the middle or something they can square up might find a long way out to left field.
Yeah, they've been turning, at least on Napier's pitches, and turning on them a lot. Now with Van Meter out there on the mound, he is coming at it with the left hand, so that'd be a little different look.
It was a little wonky, you know. If you know any left-handers, left-handed people are a little bit different, a little bit eccentric. My daughter's left-handed, so I kid her all the time about it. But yeah, it's a different release point, so you do have to pick up on that. But you also have to come in and have that idea of I need to throw strikes, but not too good of a strike.
Mm-hmm.
Strode with a nice lead over there at first base as the pitch is swung on and missed by Lil Pop. Tyler Lil Pop, a freshman, hit by a pitch his first time.
Yeah, I was going to say he was eager for that one, but probably would have wanted to take that if he could turn back time.
If he could find a way, he does take that one a little bit high for ball two. I can't go too much further with that one. But,
I can't either,
yeah.
but that's what I was. Hey, it's going to be a good day.
I don't want the algorithm to pick up thinking
Sure,
we're doing anything.
get us a
either.
copyright strike.
2-1 pitch lifted to the right side. Right fielder Fulkerson over there.
Oh, misread it.
Yeah.
Kind of hung up in there. I kind of jumped all over you as you were narrating that one.
No, you're fine. Actually, that is Landon Shirella that has moved out to right field. As that's going to be an error, fielding error. Only a one-base error, as Strode was only able to move up to second base on that play.
Yeah, definitely he was anticipating that being caught. And there is no outfield fly rule. Oh.
Straight back at Van Meter. It hits his foot, kicks into left field. The shortstop up with it. The throw home is not going to be in time. Strode scores. The play at third is not going to be in Grayson County's favor as Rogers fumbles the ball and nobody paying attention on the back end as Cheney slides into second base. And a ball that was hit right back at Jaron Van Meter. I'm not sure where it hit him exactly, but it kind of looked like he punted the ball into left field on his follow-through.
I feel like I definitely don't have the greatest memory, but it looked like sort of off the leg, knee area, maybe like down by the ankle. I say knee. Don't put me in the anatomy class. It was a left leg, knee, ankle. But it was a kick. You're right with the punting motion. And Apollo just aware, and they're not waiting. Sorry.
Yeah, he was very quick to wave everybody off, so it doesn't look like it hit him too hard. But yeah, off the bat, those are the scary ones for a pitcher. You make a pitch that you're not necessarily a fan of, leaving it over the middle of the plate, and it leaves you susceptible to being drilled with a line drive as that ball is swung on and missed by Berger.
Yeah, thankfully he seems to be all right, but the real damage may have been on the base path and the scoreboard. Is Apollo not asleep? They're not going to wait. I mean, you can ask if he's all right after the game.
That ball skips past the catcher Haycraft, and it's going to allow Lil Pop to get in there and score. Skinner, who actually came in to run for Cheney, he's now at third base. And Apollo now starting to flirt with that 10-run rule as it's 10 after 5.
10 after 5, yeah.
I want to say it's 15 after 4, but I might be making that up.
That's correct.
So it's one of those things where you're not necessarily trying to run up the score, but if you can finish this game off early, you're going to take every chance you can.
Yeah, it's different from like a regular season where you might think, let's roll some middle schoolers out there. Yeah, definitely time you want to get it over with.
Swing and a miss by Berger as he is the first out of the inning. And Garrett Lanham will come up now with one out. 2 across here in the third inning for the Eagles as they hold an 8-0 lead here at Breckinridge County High School, hosting the 3rd Region Baseball Tournament. And Garrett Lanham Waits on the delivery from the lefty, hit back at him again, a little slower that time. And Lanham is going to reach. Skinner scores. And that ball looked like it was going to be a repeat of the last one, a line drive at him, and then it just kind of skipped and skipped and skipped and finally kicked off his foot. And Lanham ends up at first base.
Yeah, he's making. I don't want to start trying to get into his mind, but that first one would definitely be a little. You remember it. It'd stick with you, and so that one maybe could have made the play if that had come the first time, but because that previous one had come so hot and just the impact, there'd be that maybe hesitation, and that's just what can you do? It's a human reaction.
Well, and as a pitcher, you have to have that reaction time as that ball is lifted just over the second baseman's head into right field.
Third base coach was waving, but then holds the runner.
And Lanham running for himself winds up at third base, and they're on the corner with one out. It feels like a broken record, as we've said that quite a bit for Apollo so far this game.
Yeah, it's the trend for the Cougars. I don't know. If we were reading a novel, we might say that now it's a theme because it's happened multiple times. Just a tough start to some innings, some errors, some giving up hits. It's just not gone the way they would have hoped to this point.
Runner off at first as he's going to steal the base uncontested. I don't know if you consider that defensive indifference or not, but
is that a stat line?
That is a thing,
okay.
But typically it's in a game where the team is trailing and the other team is just like, go ahead and take that bag. It doesn't matter. In this game, it kind of works the other way, but if Grayson County makes that throw down to second base, more than likely Lanham's going to try to make it home on it. So kind of a strategic call there as we have an 0-2 count. And Milburn takes that one way away.
And I'm not going to even pretend to watch as much Major League Baseball as you do, but I feel like the first and third runner going and you're giving up the bag, you don't really see that much at that level, do you?
No, it really takes as that's just a bit low on that one. Every now and then you'll see a really fast runner at third base and maybe a slower runner at first, and they'll try to get caught in that rundown. But when you're working with talent at that level, they're good enough to make the throw to second, get the out, and then make the throw home and still get an out. So it usually takes a little bit of trickeration on those type of plays for it to work out for them. That ball lifted high into left center field, and it's going to split the gap. 2 runs are going to easily score as Milburn rounds second, heads to third. He's going to slide in with a 2 RBI triple, and Apollo has put double digits on the board here as they take a 12-0 lead.
Mm-hmm. And anytime you're doing that run rule math in the top of the third inning, it's great if you're the team doing it, and if not, it's just because these guys are competitors.
Oh yeah,
and being on a lopsided score, and especially when you think, well, this is it. This is the last stop. Maybe district. If you're in the district championship and you get kind of run out of the ballpark, you still have the next day. There is no next day today. We're in the territory now. If Grayson County comes back, it'll be the greatest game in third region baseball history.
At this point, I think that they would be happy with 2 outs to get 2 outs in this inning. Keep it at a place where they can at least hit a couple more times. It's one of those things where you have to find attainable goals, and at this point, maybe the most attainable goal is let's get an out. Let's get this next guy out as they bring a new pitcher in. Levi Rogers is going to come in now.
Yeah, I feel for Van Meter. He got put out there. Napier faced the first batter of this inning, which seems like an eternity ago. And there was that greatly, nicely fielded ball by Rogers. Then the errant throw. They take Napier off the mound, put Van Meter out there. He takes a couple off the leg, gets one out, and then that's it. He was out there only able to record one out. He's still going to be on the hook for Milburn at third. And stats don't matter, but this would be an ERA killer, an inning like this for Van Meter.
Absolutely. The scoreboard got a little bit ahead of itself there. They actually gave Apollo one too many runs, so we're actually at 11-0 at this point, with Milburn still standing at third base. And Levi Rogers making his final couple of warm-up tosses here. The junior comes in having thrown 42 innings for the Cougars this season with a 3.67 ERA, 66 strikeouts to 40 walks. And he's getting thrown right into the middle of the Apollo order as he'll face 3, 4, 5, depending on how things go for him here. As Holder this will be his third at bat here in the third inning.
Yeah, I might have to go have a word upstairs. Somebody's adjusting our camera. I noticed it was zooming around. It looks like they've zoomed in on now instead of the foul poles, we got first base and third base, but you're cutting off some outfield. I don't know. Maybe there were some complaints about I can't see.
Yeah.
We're doing the best we can, but our camera we're not controlling that. It's up in the window. I like to set it and leave it alone. Who knows what's happened.
First pitch runs in there to the left fielder, Sam Holder. 1 for 1 with a single and a sac fly. And a breaking ball misses high from Rogers, 2-0. As the zones, usually as games get out of hand, you see the zone expand just a little bit. Still hasn't expanded just yet. A big cut there by Holder, comes up empty, and now 2-1. And I think at this point, if you're a Apollo hitter, you probably have the green light to swing out of your shoes on one that you like.
Yeah, they're going to be one eye towards tomorrow, and then definitely watching later today to see the outcome and see who they'll be playing.
That one misses high for ball 4, and Holder on for the second time today. And Easton Blanford, the 9th hitter of the inning.
Still just the one out.
It'll be interesting to see here as Apollo with an 11-run lead, but for them, they're looking for 4 more. They're trying to get that magic number of 15. We'll see if they put the runner in motion here. And they do. And it runs inside for ball 1. It's like you said, a regular season game, 11-0. You're not running that guy. You're not trying to run the score up as much. You might make some substitutions. As that breaking ball swung on and missed, had Blanford out in front of it, and a 1-1 count. This is a little bit different beast. If you can go home a little bit earlier than you anticipated, then you want to. That breaking ball catches the zone for strike 2.
And Florida sports, that's a debate that often gets brought up. When you do, like, what are you playing for? Strike out, but with throw.
The throw is going to be an out at first, and then on the transfer there, as Shirella got the out at first, and they were running Milburn home. He scores.
Now batting the DH number 17, Will
Holder is going to move up to third base, so a drop third strike. And we now have a 12-0 game as the Eagles put another on the board, and that ball hit to short. Up with it, the throw across is in time, and Grayson County finally gets out of the top of the third inning, but Apollo puts 6 runs on the board, and they will take a 12-0 lead to the bottom of the third inning.
Yeah, and looking for it's fun to look for maybe patterns. Do you do that in your day?
Oh, yeah, especially in the when you see especially with baseball, you see a baseball game, you see a lot of repetition, but you try to find that thing that you hadn't seen before. And so patterns are a big deal.
Well, this may not be a a pattern that a Grayson County supporter would want to hear, but looking out there at the scoreboard for the Eagles, 2, 4, 6, 8. We're going to see 8 in the top of that. That would end the game.
Yeah, it definitely would. And you would think once they get over that 15-run spot, they might call the Dogs off at that point.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't matter how much you call them off, the things still might go against you. As Lanham's still in for his third inning of work here, as he's thrown 2 good, clean innings. The first 2, only 1 hit allowed.
Yeah, I was saying something in that inning about the score and running up the score. I think there's even in the regular season, there's a difference. Sometimes a team's just doing it and they're not even doing it on purpose. But then you have teams that'll do it almost like maliciously, like with the intent. And coaching soccer, I've been around some one-sided games, for and against, and there are different styles of people out there. That some like to, I don't know how to phrase it.
I've been mosely on the not good end of those as a coach and as a player. Unfortunately, I came through here at Breck County as we kind of went on a downswing as that ball first pitch hit to third base, up with it, and across for the first out of the inning. We had just come off a third region runner-up in 2000. Had a lot of good players. We were ranked in the state. A lot of those guys but graduate. Some of them retired, but they graduate, and us kids left over just weren't the same caliber. So a lot of the teams that they put a hurting on maybe in the couple of years before, we got the receipt for those. So it happens. Ultimately you just kind of you play the game. You play with the hand that's dealt. You don't like to see it necessarily, but like you said, sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes you have those people that they would rather try to run up as many points or runs or whatever game you're playing. They try to run it up as much as they can as that ball is popped out to the first baseman, Blanford, and now 2 quick outs.
Yeah, especially at the high school level, I think it's easy sometimes for coaches, fans to get caught up in thinking that it's bigger. No disrespect, but that it's bigger than it is. Because at the end of the day, these are students. Now, some of them may have graduated at this point if they're a senior out there, but they're still just students.
And for some of these teams, you've got guys that are committed to go on to college to play ball.
Yeah.
And they have those commitments already lined up. But for a majority of them, if you're a senior, a majority of them, this is the last time that they're getting to play a game that they've played since they were 3 years old, since they were little kids, as that ball is hit into right center field, and it's going to get over the center fielder's head. Jaron Van Meter rounds first. He's rounding second, trips over the bag, but he's going to be able to scamper back in, and a 2-out double off the bat of Jaron Van Meter.
Yeah, he was fortunate. The cutoff was dropped, or he may have been thrown out. Nice to see him shaking off those
line drives,
baseballs off the knee, foot, ankle.
The old lower body.
Yes.
The lower body appendages there.
Yeah, somewhere by the foot.
So now Grayson County with their this is the second time they've had a runner in scoring position as Shirella fouls that first pitch off to the left. Van Meter got to second base back in the first inning after he walked and stole second.
Now, if you want to talk about poetic feat, you just hit me up. I'm there for that conversation.
Pitch inside as Van Meter really wanted to run on that one, but at this point you can't afford to run into an out. You've not don't have very many to work with here.
And that would be whatever air was left in the Grayson County balloon, that would take it out if he was to be picked off. Or you got a healthy lead. There they go.
Pick back is not going to be in time. Van Meter, I think, kind of knew that the shortstop was coming in behind him there.
Yeah, I think they're going to try it again here. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, Smith's paying a whole lot of attention to him, but that ball hit by Shirella into right center field, and Grayson County is going to dent the scoreboard as Shirella rounds first. He's going to think big, or he's going to think better of it, and he's going to stay at first base. But an RBI single gives Grayson County their first run of the game.
That'd be something. You're looking for anything to hang on to. Because certainly in the Grayson County dugout, you wouldn't want to think that defeat had been accepted. So maybe this is all right, guys, let's do that 11 more times.
Now, Van Meter and Shirella, two of the seniors in the starting lineup, or actually the only two seniors in the lineup. So senior going double single to knock home the first run for Grayson County. Just looking for anything. Just you've shown you can get a ball out in the outfield. You've shown you can step on home plate. Now maybe you can do it again. As that ball fouled straight back here. Elena Wright over here would have made the play on.
She was ready. I am between two people that were just born ready.
Cat-like reflexes.
I was not bothered. I knew she would have had it. Shout out Industrial Net again.
Doing its job as Lanham tries that outside corner and misses. The Apollo folks getting their little chirp in there.
Yeah, some folks, I don't know. You want your team to do well.
3-1 count to the.
That's best I can say it. But they are playing well. They are. And we're going to see 4 games today, so we'll get a nice feel for each team coming out as far as how it's going to go. Maybe be able to make some predictions at the end of the night. But Apollo's making a great case for a deep run.
That ball fouled off to the left side. Enough room there. As you made mention earlier, Milburn used every little inch of foul territory there to be able to squeeze that one for the third out of the inning.
And so many ballparks, that would be out of play. It's like we're playing in Oakland.
As opposed to what it used to be, this is almost triple the amount of foul territory that we used to have at a Breck County home game. So, yeah, it makes the Coliseum in Oakland, well, empty most days, but it's very spacious like that as far as foul territory is concerned.
Now, I've heard, and you're in the know. You are in the MLB zeitgeist. But are they going to move to Las Vegas?
Well, I think they are the idea is that they will move to Vegas via Sacramento.
Oh.
So they'll be moving to Sacramento. I'm not sure if it's next season or the season after. But Sacramento will host them for a year or two, and then the idea is to move to Sin City. And how that is for a professional baseball team, or really any professional sporting team to play in Las Vegas, I'm not sure. I know the Raiders recently moved out there, and they have that big, gigantic Allegiant Stadium that I believe it hosted maybe the Super Bowl last year. They have a WNBA team.
Yeah, the Aces.
The NBA plays, I believe, all their preseason contests, all their rookie camps and all that.
Summer League, yeah.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. But, yeah, they Las Vegas has a lot of draw to it. But as far as a fan is concerned, when I think of the Oakland A's and I think of people like Ricky Henderson and the Bash brothers, the steroid brothers, as it were, Moneyball and all that, those were some teams that were easy to root for in Oakland, and when they moved to Las Vegas, I don't know if that aura moves with them. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
That'd be playing in the desert heat. I mean, I don't know.
I would assume that it would be a domed stadium or an
Okay.
air-conditioned stadium. Arizona is very similar as far as they've got the retractable roof, so I'm pretty sure they leave the roof closed on most days. I would think so in Arizona, but
And we can't forget hockey, the Golden Knights.
I
They're out there,
did
too.
forget about them. Yes, and they've done a tremendous job in their few years of existence. So.
Yeah. I mean, nothing says let's get out on the ice like a game in Las Vegas, Nevada. But yeah, they're good.
So we're here in the top of the fourth inning as we'll see Lil Pop, Cheney, and Berger, the scheduled hitters here for Apollo. 12-1 lead for the Eagles as a call, strike three, took just 3 pitches to retire Lil Pop for the first time in this game.
Now batting number 22, Gunnar Hendricks.
And we will have a pinch hitter here as number 22. Gunnar Hendricks will be the batter.
Yeah, so already seeing maybe a little wrist rotated around.
You don't always get a chance to put these substitutes in to get an at-bat, but you never know when you're going to need them. And that's the thing. A really good baseball team, yes, they've got good pitching, they've got a good starting 9, but a really good baseball team, when they need somebody to come off the bench, they are ready to go, and the best way to do that is to have actual game action, as that's taken for a strike, 1-2 count.
Yeah, never quite able to recreate that in a inter-squad scrimmage, that feel of playing.
That pitch swung on and missed, but it's going to kick past Haycraft, the catcher, and a strikeout, but a pass ball allows him to reach.
And that's, for a Grayson County standpoint, sadly been kind of the theme. Even the things that going well tonight, there's some kind of twist in the tail, and then it doesn't work out. Whether that's a pass ball and strikeout, a great fielding play, and then a wild throw, ground ball off the leg into the outfield, just a lot of things not going their way.
First pitch high here to Brock Berger. They leave him in to hit for himself. And he swings and hits that one into center field, going to drop in front of the center fielder. And a one-out single. Runners at first and second, 1 out.
Now batting the pitcher, number 20.
And Rob, yeah, just you get a strikeout, then you get another strikeout, but that runner gets on, and it's just nothing you can do. It feels like everything you do right, you still end up having something go wrong.
Sort of a Murphy's Law game for the Cougars.
As that breaking ball misses a little high for ball 1. Cougars scored 1 in the bottom of the third. Apollo trying to get that one back and a few more, as the 9-hitter Lanham, who is 1 for 1, has a hit and a walk and has scored twice.
You got Smith over there waiting on deck to wreak more havoc at the plate.
He has done nothing but hit the ball. Just three hits, scored twice, drove in 2 or 3 runs. Just not a lot of holes in this Apollo lineup, as that pitch goes wild and allows the runners to move up 90 feet.
Now, do you remember from your career, do you remember your most humbling game, or a game that just sticks with you for?
It wasn't necessarily a game, but I remember going into my senior year, as that ball is hit into left field, that's going to score 1. They're going to wave the
Oh,
runner.
waving the runner.
The throw is cut off, and the second run is going to score. I don't think that would have got him out anyway, but a 2-run single, and Lanham will take the extra base on the throw. So a single on the play, but 2 more come across for Apollo, and we're now sitting at 14-1 in favor of the Eagles, and we'll have a courtesy runner going out there. Got number 9, Riley Logan.
21, Grayson Smith.
Yeah, my senior year, I was maybe a little full of myself. I was a pitcher designated hitter. I was not trusted enough to play defense, which was probably a good idea. But I pitched the very first game against Hill City, and before the game started, I looked at some of my best friends, and I was like, whole season, not going to give up a home run. I'm gonna mow people down. I'm just going to be a machine. Just hop on. I'm going to take us to glory. Third batter of the season, I hung a slider. I remember the exact pitch I threw. Is that close pickoff there? Had an 0-2 count against this kid. I threw a slider that hung right over the middle of the plate. I mean, you couldn't have put it on a tee any better. And at the old field, there was a lake out in left field.
Oh, no.
And if it didn't kill one fish, I'm sure it killed multiple as that ball hit high into left field. And a jumping play out there in left field by Bradley to get the second out of the inning. That ball traveled further than any ball I've ever seen hit. And I look at my best friend over at first base.
I'm sure they didn't let you
Oh,
hear
no.
about it. Yeah.
He had the biggest smile on his face. For somebody that had just given up a run, it was just like, yeah, I'm an idiot. It was a very humbling experience. I do have to say that we did go on to win that game. That was the only run I allowed that particular game.
Okay. That's a silver lining.
Yeah, it worked out, but it was kind of the punch in the gut that I needed. And
it's a good story. Not for the fish.
No, well, yeah. I mean, they knew what they were doing when they moved in. So 2 out here in the inning as a swing and a miss there by Milburn. Apollo trying to get a couple more here to try to get that run roll up and running as they have a 13-run lead with a runner at second. That ball checks his swing, no swing, but it does allow the runner to move up.
We don't have a pond here. We've got a barn.
If somebody hits that barn, it's pretty much dead center, maybe a little bit left center. That's about a 550 maybe out to that. If somebody gets a hold of one and gets it out there, then good luck to them. Somebody needs to come and get that kid on a contract. As that ball lofted out to the short right field, the right fielder is going to call off the first baseman and squeeze it for the out, and the side is retired. The Eagles only scored 2 that inning, and they'll take a 14-1 lead into the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the situation is with that barn, but it would be neat to maybe paint a bullseye on the side.
Kind of like going back to Bull Durham. In Bull Durham, the Durham Bulls had the bull out in right field that if you hit it, you win a free steak. I don't know what if you hit that. What do you get? What free thing do you get? I don't know.
Bennett buck. Maybe a. We need some kind of Bennett buck equivalent that's like a gold bar, a Bennett bar. That'd be the. We're not too far from Fort Knox. Maybe they'll donate a bar of gold.
I'm sure if we send a politely worded message, email,
say, hey, we got this barn out over the outfield fence. Got this idea. Need a gold bar.
I think they would jump right on board with that.
I'll try it.
I've never asked anybody for just to give me gold, but, I mean, can't hurt to ask, right?
Yeah, Fort Knox is one of those places that, it's just like right down the road for us, but it gets talked about. It's talking about a cliche.
Oh,
got all the gold in Fort Knox. We actually in our house we've recently purchased some furniture. It's delivered from Evansville, and they were super excited when they delivered the furniture of how close we were to Fort Knox. Like, well, yeah, just about an hour away.
What they don't know. They don't know.
I'm not above using Fort Knox for some clout with the furniture delivery
Oh,
people.
yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
If that gets them there a day earlier, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The quicker you get done, you can take a ride over there.
Go to the Patton Museum.
Lifted over to right field is Fulkerson's swing, and it is put away for the first out of the inning as Lil Pop squeezes it.
Now batting the second baseman, number 34, Gage Napier.
Napier and Bonnock, the other two scheduled hitters here for Grayson County, as they trail 14-1 here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and time is of the essence for the Cougars as the run roll is looming for them.
The clouds are starting to go away. I'm trying to think of a science term. Dissipate?
That was
the clouds dissipate?
You took the word right out of my brain.
Well, these clouds are dissipating before our very eyes. The sun's beaming down.
That ball lifted high into the air behind home plate.
Oh.
And the catcher, Cheney, with an excellent effort there. But wait, I take that back. Cheney out of the game now. That's Gunnar Hendricks.
Gunnar Hendricks.
Yeah, Hendricks actually stayed in. Pinch hit for him earlier.
I'm thinking, I applaud his effort, but 13-run lead, a block wall. I don't know if I'd have done that. He's braver than me.
Yeah.
More of a competitor, I guess. I'd be like, meh.
15, 16, 17 years old, you don't think about those things. You just kind of react.
That's true. That is so true.
Napier, 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, hit to the right side off the end of the bat. Kind of cued over there. Berger picks it up, throws it to Blandford in time. And now 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth.
Something we need to do. You inspired me with that. We need to do some kind of staff-student softball game end of the year. What do you think?
There would be so many students that I just run over. We've tried this. We've tried staff-student basketball games. Those I think
haven't done that in a while.
I think our staff has gotten a little aged to the point where maybe we can't compete at the level that we used to. But yeah, if you get us out here playing softball, you're going to see the competitive side of a lot of these older gentlemen. I'm not going to say they're old, but they're older than me by a couple of years at least. You'll see that competitive fire come out in them. The ball lifted on the infield here. Hendrick has a little bit better chance of getting to this one, and he slides, takes out the first baseman, Blandford, but both look like they're okay as Blandford gives him a little love tap there as the third out is recorded.
Almost just a unnecessary collision. He likes to slide. I give Gunnar Hendricks in that catching role behind the plate. If there's a foul ball, just get out of the way. He's coming into knees.
So nothing happening for the Cougars there. They go 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah, and Apollo now, they don't need any more runs to receive, because no matter what happens, Grayson County will get the bottom half. You won't see the run rule applied mid-inning. So the soonest this could end would be after the 5th. We'll see if we'll get maybe some batters for Apollo who don't play much. But I'm on the high school level. You're going to be more familiar with the rules than I am as far as substitutions. If you come out, are you out, or can you come back in?
You can re-enter once.
Okay.
As a starter, if they bring in a pinch hitter like there with Hendricks, I almost assumed naturally that they would just bring the original catcher back in. That is something you can do. You can pinch hit, you can pinch run, you can even defensively replace them once, but then they can come back in. Once they come back in, essentially anytime you pull them out of the game, they would be finished for the day. So you got one, and I have a feeling with Apollo going through the meat of their order here, 3, 4, and 5, you might see these guys hit, and then after them, you might see some substitutions. But Holder, Blandford, and Strode, the 3 hitters here, as that ball is fouled straight back into the catcher's mask.
why they wear it.
The tools of ignorance, as they're known. You got to be a little crazy. You got to have a lug nut loose to want to be a catcher back there. But from experience, it is one of those positions where if you play it well, it can take you a long way on the baseball front. But one little mistake is easy to be amplified if you are behind home plate. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball just breaks at the end, but not into the zone.
I mean, catcher, as far as the mistake amplification, similar to a goalkeeper in soccer.
Yes, very much. Maybe not as immediate in some cases, but one pass ball can get somebody into scoring position that then on a base hit wouldn't have normally scored, or as we've seen at third base, as that ball is, he checked the swing. Thought they might appeal it down there, but they say no swing, ball 4, and Sam Holder is on base. And Easton Blandford now up.
As we are just about 11:30 a.m. here in the Central Time Zone.
High lifted into left field.
That's the Bermuda Triangle.
And this time it's caught in a long throw to first base. Whole lot closer than it looked like it was going to be. Holder kind of coasted back into first base. And Bradley, the left fielder, just uncorked one.
Yeah, that was on a rope.
Shirella got his foot on the bag, but Holder was able to get on there just before. And so now 1 away here in the inning. And that first pitch misses high to the designated hitter, Will Strode. One 1-0 pitch misses low. Holder standing at first base, and senior Will Strode, designated hitter, standing in the batter's box. And looked like a breaking ball that he wanted to swing at, but he would have been well out in front of.
The always, runner's going. And he's up with the ball kind of squeezing through the legs there behind home plate. So it's always an entertaining part of this sport, the duel between the pitcher and the batter.
You got one guy up there that's trying to hit the ball as hard as he can right back at you, and you got one guy that you don't know where the ball is going to end up. As Strode takes that outside corner pitch, hits it to right field, there's going to be a play at the plate. The throw from Shirella is going to not be in time as Holder gets that left hand in there, and it's now a 15-1 game.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be a chance to get him when it hit the cutoff there with Shirella, but just a good slide on that turf, which is going to be hot. It's not going to be too hot today. I think our high we might hit upper 70s, maybe 80 flat, but thankfully it's not last Monday when it was, I'd say, 88 degrees. We actually had a kind of a soccer final day of conditioning outside. It was pretty brutal last week, so we got better weather today.
Yeah, for the end of May, you just never know what you're going to end up with as far as weather's concerned. I guess it's the Forrest Gump of weather. It's a box of chocolates.
Chocolate box.
So that ball roped right back up the middle. A good swing put on by Ty Lilpop.
Yeah.
As probably his best at bat of the game. Nets a single, and now runners at first and second with 1 out.
And I may not be a smart man, but I do know a good baseball team when I see one. And Apollo's fitting the bill today.
Yeah, for Grayson County to have they ended their season on a little bit of a roll. They did a good job of closing out the season on a high as they took the 12th District Championship, and then you come Saturday afternoon for the draw, and you pull the pill that says Apollo, and all those positive things that that you had earlier in the week or in the last couple of weeks, just kind of like, of all the draws, it had to be you. So, but that's how things happen. That's how things happen.
Things happen. Something that I was thinking coming into today, it's the old, like, any kind of prediction that you can make. The battle of the mascots, Eagle or Cougar, which one's going to win? And I think I give advantage to the Eagle in nature.
I think I would too. As that ball is lit into left field, that's going to score another run, making it 16-1. Moving up to third base, and Apollo, at this point, they don't have an off button. They are moving up as many bases as possible. Now 15-run lead.
Yeah, they're trying to fly far away with this score line.
Yeah, I think I'd also take the Eagle. You have that the ability to kind of just go up into a tree, just hide if you need to, and then a Cougar's got to sleep sometime, I guess. So.
Yeah, just swoop down. And you ever read The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings or watch them or anything?
I got through the first one and then I slept through the second one. And
okay.
Talking about the movies, not the books.
It's all good.
If I read the book, it was on accident.
Well, there's a I guess I call them a species of eagles in that they're massive, like giant eagles. So that's Apollo playing like the eagles from Middle Earth today, which would quite easily handle a cougar.
Waylon Skinner is going to get his chance to hit here, as he was a courtesy runner early in the game. Now he's going to hit for Hendricks.
We'll keep our eye on the mascot battle as we go through the day. It'll be something fun.
You just never know with those matchups and just how they'd play out. I mean, the next one we have is an animal versus, I guess, water. We have.
Yeah.
But water's very powerful.
Water make the Grand Canyon.
Exactly. So you have to make sure you find the link for our next game. If you're following along on YouTube, it's already up and ready to go as that ball's hit to the shortstop. Nice ranging play. The throw across is not going to be in time.
Off the bag.
But another run and another hit for Apollo.
We're talking about water making the Grand Canyon. If this second game lasts millions of years, it won't really matter. If that's what it takes for the water to get the win. It'll be a long game.
Persistence.
It's true.
One out here in the inning as that pitch misses a little bit high. And Grayson County just begging for 2 outs here.
Yeah. Oh,
that
off the helmet.
Just nicked the helmet there as it broke back in there. That was another pinch hitter there. Or no, that was Lanham. Excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, just a glancing blow, like you say, not a direct hit.
Shortstop, number 21, Grayson.
I was in a Little League game one time, and one of my teammates was in the box, and there's always that guy with the wispy stash that's throwing 72 miles an hour, and he lost control of one. It just hit my teammate right in the ear hole. He didn't even try to move. Painful. I shouldn't laugh. It wasn't funny. I mean, he's all right. That means you can laugh. He was okay.
Now, as a pitcher, I did the same thing to a kid, and it's scary at the time. I ear-holed him pretty good with a fastball, and at that point, I was throwing low 80s, maybe mid 80s. And
did you have a wispy stash?
I had a full goatee at that point. So sophomore in high school at that point. The ball hit to short, up with it. The throw across is not going to be in time.
Oh,
as
my
Shirella
goodness.
pulled off the bag. A lot of falling down on that play as the runner
Yes.
coming home from third fell down. The shortstop kind of tripped over his own feet on the throw, and all hands are safe. He's awarded a hit on the play, but I would contest that one. I think that's probably a defensive error, but I am not the official scorekeeper today.
Right. Yeah, that with the throw, I would have thought the throw might come home.
Well, I think if
save
he'd
the run.
I think if he'd had noticed that the runner coming from third had fallen down, it would have been a fairly easy play at home. But
Yeah.
it was not the direction he went, and we will see one more pitching change for Grayson County as they will go to number 20, Rodney Morris.
Yeah, they're looking for, just like you say, any way to get out of this inning and out of the game. Morris coming in, he's got a fairly small sample, 14 innings pitched, ERA of 10.5. And for Apollo, I don't know, like, I think from the competitive standpoint, this game is it's pretty over.
It is, yes.
Yeah, it's not going to be there's not going to be a comeback. And I don't know, certainly maybe rotate some guys, because we saw, I believe it was, Gunnar Hendricks sliding in, hits Blandford at the knees. I'd be thinking, let's wrap our guys in some
Bubble wrap.
Yeah, that's it. Wrap them in something and keep them safe, because freaky things, they do happen. Not that they will, but this game is pretty over.
And kind of going back to one thing you said, as far as, there's not a clock in this. You have to, not only does the winning team have to make all the outs, but in cases like this, the team that's far behind, they still are required to get the outs to get out of the inning and everything. So as much as it is mental for Apollo to, stay in the game, and not necessarily this one as much now at this point, but as far as it is for Grayson County, 18-1 is not a good score that you want sent out through the KHSAA app, but it could be worse. So you want to try to limit this as much as you can. You've got a good amount of your team coming back next year. If you're looking at Grayson County, only 2 seniors in their starting lineup, so it's something that it's very small, but you got to try to find those things that you can build on, those things that you can, find even the smallest ray of sunshine on a not sunny day. And Milburn, first pitch swing, lifts that ball into left center field, and it's going to keep going, and it bounces up against the left field fence.
Oh, they're going to run past each other scoring on this one.
And the run train scores for Apollo. 3 score on the play.
Well, this game started at 10:05. It's very early. Say the early bird gets the worm, and Apollo's going to be fishing for days since they've now up by 20. That's not you don't hear that much in baseball.
Not at all. 21-1 here, and this I think really shows, if you look at Apollo and you looked at their work throughout the season, this shows the kind of teams that they played against. And no disrespect to Grayson County, but the teams that Apollo played against this season just are not. They're not the caliber of Grayson County at this point. And Apollo hung with those teams, beat a lot of those teams, and they are enjoying the fruits of their labor right now as they have a 21-1 lead.
Is there any worry for Apollo that you're maybe, not that it works like this, but doing too much tonight? Or tonight, excuse me, in the morning?
It's one of, I mean, you can try to bunt. and just lay down things and try to get yourself out, which I think is the opposite of what you want to do. You want to you want to send your guys up there to get at bats, get game time, as that 4-pitch walk to Sam Holder, who led this inning off with a walk as well.
Now batting the
There's
first
just
baseman, number 13, Easton Blanford.
when another team can't get another team out, it feels like maybe we should help them out a little bit. But in the long run, you want to keep that momentum going because you're playing again at 5:30 tomorrow. If you're Apollo, you come back to this field. You're playing at 5:30. You're going to be playing against again, no disrespect to Grayson County, but you're going to be playing a higher level opponent, whether it be Muhlenberg County or Meade County.
Right.
Both of those teams have shown the ability to beat really good teams this season. Muhlenberg County comes in ranked just inside the top 20 in the state. Meade County has beaten some really good teams. For a team that is missing probably their best pitcher, is that ball.
No attempt to really get out of the way from Blanford.
Yeah, that caught him right there on the hip, and now bases loaded again for the designated hitter Will Strode. But yeah, you want to keep that pressure up, keep that your plate discipline up. You don't want to just start chasing pitches. It's kind of one of those things when if you allow that to creep in here, it's going to keep creeping in, and you don't want that to happen. So you hit the pitches that are thrown to you, and if they catch them, great. If they don't, then I guess Apollo's just going to run.
Yeah, would this be the time for the zone to expand behind the?
I would have again, I'm not the home plate umpire, but I would have expanded it about an inning and a half ago. But
in the dirt, well, I say dirt, in the synthetic fibers.
I would at this point I would go toes to
Off his foot.
Toes to shoulders. If it's over the plate, just get ready to swing, buddy.
Yeah.
And Will Strode, this is his 5th time at the plate. Only one official hit, reached on an error and struck out and grounded out. And this is one of the hitters for Apollo that you look at their order. Smith has had a tremendous game. Milburn's had a tremendous game. Blanford's hit the ball hard just about every time he's put it in play, but hadn't had the results to show for it. This is the guy that takes a call strike 3. Maybe that was the extended strike zone, I think, there that we're finally seeing. Will Strode is the guy that if he gets it going, he can offensively carry Apollo. And again, he's kind of worked around some injuries this season, trying to work his way back. But if he hits his stride, that's definitely a guy to watch as Lil Pop fouls that one.
Yeah, if this is for a first game, thinking about the excitement of this tournament, we've got to see a really outstanding team. Got a chance off of today's performance to repeat as they did last season, winning the region. Certainly got the firepower in the arsenal from today's performance.
Another one fouled back here, 1-2 count to Lil Pop, and it's when you saw the draw, this was one of those games when you saw it and you know the abilities of an Apollo team. It's not necessarily the exact same thing as a 1 versus 16 in an NCAA tournament, but it has a lot of the feeling there as Lil Pop hits that one deep into left field. It's going to bounce off the left center field wall, and they're going to hold up the runner there at third base. Only 2 runs score on this one. Yeah. And a 2-run RBI for Ty Lil Pop makes it 23-1 Eagles.
And I mean, the runners have to go somewhere. They can't just stand. But I guess it's nice to see the third runner being held And certainly more of a canter than a sprint around the bases from the other Eagles. Kind of mixed a lot of animal imagery there. More of a glide around the behind, and then that's nice from Blandford. Didn't come in. I mean, I guess.
Well, and you don't want to risk a play at the plate.
Yep.
Like you've talked about, it's if they throw home and there's a collision or something, you don't want your starting cleanup hitter, your first baseman, to be out for a game or two with an injury or possibly even worse. You just kind of take it station to station at this point, and if you're Grayson County, you just you're praying for one more out here.
I wonder if our younger viewers can pick up on what station to station means.
Well, again, base to base, I guess would be, the old. I don't even know how long ago I heard station to station. I guess that
I'm with you.
That ball skewed off of the bat and right to the first baseman. It looked like that had all the makings of a foul ball. But for Grayson County, they will take any out that they can get there, and they get out of the inning. But Apollo, let's just say they put a hurting on them in that inning with 9 runs. It's 23-1. Grayson County needs they need a lot to keep this game going. But not sure that's going to happen here.
I'm telling you, that somewhere in the world, and it may not happen today, but nothing's really impossible, and we could be. If it happens, it's going to be the greatest baseball game we've ever seen, because I can only imagine the radio personnel from Grayson County, if that were to happen, would be going crazy, which would actually be it would be exciting. Now, if you're playing, let's say you're playing on a video game, you could turn the sliders all the way down and turn this around. Be like, every pitch is right over the plate, power to 99. But realistically, that's not going to happen. And I wonder, would Apollo have preferred maybe, 12 runs tonight, 11 runs tomorrow night versus 23 in one game?
If you could know how many runs you're going to score for the entire season and budget them accordingly, you'd have a whole lot more teams win a whole lot more games, I suppose.
That would be a whole new level of analytics.
That would go beyond anything that I'm capable of even comprehending. But
you'd have that one GM be like, all right, we're going to beat this team 902 to nothing.
We're not going to score any more runs this season.
It's going to be a terrible season.
but we had that one.
We're going to set a record.
I did happen to catch Apollo, the fellow that was warming up the right fielder had one of those jumbo hats.
Oh.
I don't know if you've seen those.
Yes, I have.
I don't know if it's a celebratory hat that Apollo has, but have to see that one after this morning's game.
Let's hope he doesn't wear it to the handshake line. That could spark some afters.
That ball hit slowly towards short, and the throw across is going to be in time. Number 20, Rodney Morris, who came in to pitch that last inning with that ground out. It was a very slow roller there, but a good play there by Milburn to make a strong throw across. And we haven't talked a whole lot about their defense today, but a lot of plus arms out there as that ball is lofted to right field. And in short right field, the second baseman, Waylon Skinner, makes a tremendous catch for the second out. And he was a replacement. He came in to this, didn't start there at second base, but definitely put a highlight play on there.
And I think Easton Blandford was more excited for him than he was for himself. Just a fist pump. And that's the tale of the game. Apollo is doing things like that. As you were talking about their defense, just pulls that one out of the hat. And Grayson County just had, 3 errors on the scoreboard.
and then just about anything that could
Yeah,
go wrong.
it's
Like you said, Murphy's Law for him today. And that one's hit right back at the pitcher, Lanham. He flips over to Blandford, and after 5 innings, that will complete things for this contest. Apollo 23, Grayson County 1, and Apollo will move on to the 5:30 game tomorrow night as they await the winner of Muhlenberg County and Meade County, which will be our second game here. Scheduled to start, I believe, at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
We're about an hour and 10 minutes out from that start game, or start time, I should say.
Yeah, if you're watching at home and you want to catch that one, this is a good time to go get you a sandwich or something. We'll be back in an hour. Looking forward to it.
Yep, not a whole lot to recap from this one, as Apollo just they were the better team, and they showed it early, exactly what you want them to do. And if you're Grayson County, you just kind of you look at it and you're like, well, that was a really good team, and they just showed us.
Mm-hmm.
So their season ends. They'll finish with a final record of 16-15, but they do walk out with the 12th district championship. Some good things to hang their hat on, but they'll return a whole lot of players next year and see if they can run things back in the 2025 campaign.
Yeah. Speaking of running it back, let's do it again in an hour, John.
We'll be here. So
All right.
look forward to it. Everybody tune back in for that contest.